Hello everyone. In this video I'll be talking about your next assignment. This is the Room for Debate assignment. This assignment is inspired by a series of articles appearing in the New York Times. This was under the section called Room for Debate, and this inspired the title of this assignment. I have called this Room for Debate essay assignment. So what do we do in Room for Debate essay assignments? Well, in a Room for Debate essay, we explore a specific topic of interest, and we're looking at diversity and inclusion. As you all know, diversity and inclusion is a hot topic today. It's in politics, it's in education, it's in entertainment, it's in culture and society, it's in all walks of life, especially in America today. You can hardly talk about employment and hiring decisions without talking about diversity. In college and education, we always talking about diversity. In debates and political campaigns, diversity and inclusion is always talked about. And I'm sure this is a topic that you as individuals have probably thought about. Perhaps you think about how you're going to fit into a particular school, a particular workplace, maybe because of your race, your gender, maybe because of one or more identities that you hold. So this topic is very, very relevant today. Now, as I've stated here, there is a background to this. When it comes to diversity and inclusion, we know it's a current debate in politics. Those on the left think one way about diversity and inclusion, and those on the right think another way about diversity and inclusion. But it's important for you to understand both sides of the debate. And that's what I hope you will all come to a conclusion, that there are different perspectives on this. And regardless of your perspective or your position, it's always good to understand what another side, another political persuasion held by another individual who tries to account for diversity and inclusion. So I have an argument here. You can see this chart, and I pulled this from the CQ Research article, which you will be exploring when it comes to diversity and inclusion. Blacks, Latino, Asian, whites, everyone perceives it differently according to their own histories or their own whatever experiences they've had. So it's no surprise black professionals said 34% do not think that their company's diversity and inclusion policies are effective, whereas whites do not perceive it the same way. Now this is controversial, and there are different variables that could explain why professionals think differently about D&I. But as we talk about this topic, let us explore the argument. There is a definition for diversity, especially when it's used in politics or in employment. I've said, simply stated, diversity is the practice of hiring and promoting staff from different cultures, races, and groups to ensure representation across the organization or institution. You can also look at the term as it's defined in the dictionary, although that doesn't give us much hope, because we can make sense of the dictionary definition of diversity without thinking about it in practical terms, the way it's used in society, the way it's used in education, the way it's used in employment and culture. And for that, we are going to be looking at an article. I have made an argument why we need to consider discussions on debates, and specifically on this topic of diversity, and you can read it here. The learning outcome for this assignment has also been listed. You are going to be writing an argumentative essay, and I expect that you will engage in analysis, evaluating an essay's different positions made by the authors. You will be evaluating an author's conclusion and drawing inferences. And to get started, you have to think about this in terms of imagining two parties arguing. Both sides have evidence to back up their points. Both sides are well read, well learned, have done their homework. Who's going to win? Well, likely, if both sides have done their homework and are well informed of the issue, we can say at least once both sides will have a point, because it's not a result of lazy preparation but intense preparation. So this is true for our debaters. So we're going to be looking at Thea Smith, who is a director of D&I Consulting at PwC company, and then we have Mike Gonzalez, who is a fellow at the Heritage Foundation. So these are two contrasting positions on D&I, but for the purposes of this essay, you are going to read both sides, which is an article that I've posted, and you're going to respond according to the specifications listed here. I've called this organizational structure because I expect that in your response you will develop an engaging hook. You would also describe the issue at contention in your reading of the article. You examine the author's method of argumentation. You also describe how both authors established their arguments made in the article, how they use rhetorical modes to persuade their audience. You're going to talk about the author's tone, persona, appeals, ethos, logos, or pathos. You're going to analyze how each author responds to counter-arguments, and expect that you will evaluate in your closing remark a claim made by one debater against another side in the essay. You can use your personal observation plus evidence from the text to describe what the author achieves or fails to achieve in the essay. Now, in terms of guidelines and other specifications, there is a minimum page limit. I expect to see an essay that follows proper conventions, specifically MLA convention. I expect to see header and the title, and if you are wondering how this is going to proceed, this assignment assumes that there are activities you have completed or will complete in this class, so it's not given in isolation. So if you're reviewing this video, just know that we will be working on some activities in the class so you can better understand the purpose, the context, and how to think about responding to this assignment instructions. Okay, and the due dates are here. So that's it for now. What you can expect is the activities I've prepared in order to get you prepared to respond to this assignment. Thank you.